This is All India Radio, the news read by Sanjeev Barua. In fresh escalation of tension, Indian and Pakistani troops exchanged heavy gunfire along the line of control in the Krishna Ghati area in the Poonch sector in Jammu and Kashmir yesterday evening, after the movement of a group of suspected infiltrators was detected. Defense spokesman Colonel R.K. Palta told our correspondent in Jammu that there was a movement of 6 to 7 persons close to the LOC opposite Krishna Ghati subsector at around 9:45 p.m. last night, leading to exchange of firing. There was no immediate report of casualty or injury on the Indian side. The spokesman said Indian troops opened fire on the suspected infiltrators, and after about 40 minutes of exchange of firing, the suspected infiltrators disappeared from the scene. It is suspected that either a group of militants or border action team could have been undertaking movement close to the LOC. Even 2 days after India sought a brigadier-level flag meeting in Poonch sector of Jammu and Kashmir in the wake of the brutal killing of 2 Indian soldiers, Pakistan is yet to respond. Army sources said in New Delhi that there are 4 local hotlines between the two sides at Chakandabag, Uri, Balnoi and Tangdhar. The flag meeting is most likely to be called at Alnoi, which is the closest to the site of the incident. Haryana Assembly Speaker Kuldeep Sharma will announce his decision today on 5 MLAs of Haryana Janhit Congress who had joined the Congress party and helped it in the formation of government in the state in 2009. The final arguments were completed in the hearing of the case on January 3rd, and the Speaker had kept his decision reserved. The Janhit Congress had sought disqualification of the 5 MLAs Satpal Sangwan, Vinod Bhayana, Narendra Singh, Zile Ram and Dharam Singh from membership of the Vidhan Sabha. A local court in New Delhi will take up for cognizance tomorrow the charge sheet in the allocation of additional spectrum during the NDA regime. The charge sheet has named 3 telecom firms, Bharti Cellular and 2 Vodafone firms, as accused in the case in which the Department of Telecommunication had allegedly allocated the additional spectrum, resulting in loss of Rs 846 crore to the exchequer. In Mali, French air power has stopped the advance of Islamist rebels. The Islamist fighters have controlled the north of the country since last March and had been threatening to push south. French President François Hollande has hailed the success of the operation but ordered tighter security at home in case of reprisal attacks from Islamic extremists. Meanwhile, many African nations pledged troops on the ground, some as early as today. Britain has also promised technical support to the French intervention in Mali, but will not deploy any personnel in combat role. The Arab League Ministerial Council is meeting in Cairo today to discuss the situation in Syria and ways and means to increase the humanitarian assistance to the Syrian refugees. Ahead of the meet, Lebanon has indicated that it will press for aid worth $180 million to assist Syrian refugees who have fled to Lebanon. Meanwhile, Qatar Prime Minister has called for an Arab peacekeeping force to be sent to Syria to end the conflict there. One day before Makar Sankranti, an estimated 2.5 lakh pilgrims took holy dip at Ganga Sagar, the confluence of the Ganga River with the Bay of Bengal, till this morning. Official sources said that thousands of pilgrims braving fog and chilling conditions began taking the dip since last midnight. The President and Prime Minister have greeted the people on the occasion of Lohri, Makar Sankranti and Pongal. In his message, the President, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, said the festivals which celebrate the hard work of farmers will bring growth and progress in the country. The Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, hoped that the festivals would bring happiness and prosperity for all. In Uttar Pradesh, an eminent medical scholar and researcher, Professor Mehdi Hassan, died on Saturday evening in the ICU of Sanjay Gandhi PGMI, Lucknow. He was 77. Professor Hassan was a Padma Shri recipient in 2012. And that is the end of this news bulletin.